Well, husband and wife Mark and Setha Kohler run a nationwide organisation across Ukraine supporting children with disabilities. Mission Ukraine Children's Hope works with children from orphanages and those with a range of special needs. Since the invasion, the couple have been forced to hide while Russian troops drop bombs nearby. Mark and Setha are with me now. Thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Tell our story.
Describe the situation now, whereabouts you are, and how life is changing for you on a day-to-day basis.
I think you've got it right there, day to day. We sit waiting to hear the calm or the bombs, and we when we hear the calm, we think, oh, they've moved on, and then we hear more bombs and say, no, they're still here. So it's hard to tell what's happening out there, whether it's our people making the advance or whether we're under attack, um, whether we're in siege or whatever the situation is.
I know for security reasons you don't want to say where you are, and I can completely understand that. But in terms of just giving us, the people outside of Ukraine, a real sense of what it's like there, how on earth can you feel any sense of security when you can literally hear bombs outside? What is that experience like for you, Setha?
This morning we were wake up uh, after this terrible sounds, and very quickly we put on clothing and be ready what to do. But we praying. We start to pray. We believe God will protect us, our families. So and now we have peace in our hearts.
So you wake up hearing artillery fire outside, not knowing how close it is.
Correct.
How do you reconcile with that? How do you understand that's going on, considering for most of the time, I understand you've been there, it's a pretty relaxed, peaceful place where you are located?
Well, that's in a sense that's correct. But in the 20 years I've been here, we've had 7 encounters with Russian interruption. We've had the red or the orange revolution. We've had Maidan. We've had Crimea, Eastern Ukraine, the coup. No, I mean it's not been peachy keen, but we've not been affected so deeply as we have now. Um, Sveta grew up in the Soviet system, so her responses are a little different than mine.
At the moment, how safe can you literally feel when you know what's happening outside and you have no idea whether it's Ukrainian forces or Russian forces?
We have connection with friends. Our son, he is in military. He is protect our city. So we chat through him, through our friends, and we watch news. So at how we have information. 3 days ago, I was able to walk in our city to see people, to shop, but 3 days we stayed home, and government suggests us right now to hear bomb, and government suggests us to stay at home.
Sorry to interrupt. What I could hear in the background there was loud thud noises. Was that explosions going off?
Yes, yes, it
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. We don't know how close, but it was.
Our friend from another side of our city, 2 days ago, they had damage of their house, and their neighborhood had broken windows, doors, and roofs, and no electricity, no gas.
We've been very fortunate with that. We've had electricity and internet connection, so we've been able to continue to communicate with the world.
The children that you help and support, have you managed to be in contact with them? What is their situation? I know they have a range of different situations that they're in, correct, Mark?
Yes. Um, our connection is through the massage therapists, and some of them have left the country. Some of them continue because they're out of harm's way. And I'm sure that the parents of these children are just terrified.
Setha, did you ever expect a war of this scale to arrive in Ukraine? Ever? The magnitude of it?
No, I even didn't think about it, didn't expect. We have war for
8 years.
8 years on eastern Ukraine, and we prayed about it. We knew it, but it was no, like
At a distance.
yes, and it was different, and I never thought it will happen with us and so close.
Mark, would you or your wife, would either of you ever consider leaving your home, leaving Ukraine?
We were talking about that this morning, and it's a little easier for me to say I'm not leaving than for Sveta, because she has so much history with the Soviet Union and with the lifestyle and the poverty and everything else. My plan is to stay as long as we're allowed to stay. If we have the opportunity to continue here, we want to help rebuild not only what we're doing as a mission, but help the people that stayed, help them with finances and so on and so forth. If we do have to leave, we have a plan. God has given us vision to take the much activity into developing countries. So we're connected already with 2 countries that are anxious to have us come. So we have opportunities. It's just a question of funding and so on.
In a time like this, does it test your faith for either of you?
Does it test your faith?
Oh yes, it it is test. Yes, it is test. My brain became more deeply from my heart, more and but I feel God more close. And in this situation, we had a situation with in our niece. She moved to Poland, and it was clearly understanding God's provision. Yes, and yeah, our faith is tested and grow up in this situation.
For myself, I wouldn't say tested. I would say it's strengthened. I have always said that Christians are better Christians when they're in conflict. When people are trying to take away their Christianity, they're much stronger Christians than when they have the freedom.
Well, I believe both of you, because as you were answering that questions, again, I could hear artillery shelling in the background, bombs, explosions, part of the war. And here you are, though, speaking to me in a very measured and calm way. Is that part of your faith that helps you get through this?
I think I can answer for both of us and say it's not part of our faith, it's all of our faith. It's not what we believe, it's not a philosophy, it's a relationship with God. And that is much stronger than anything else could be.
I need to ask you, do you have enough basic supplies? I mean, what is open where you are? Is there a local supermarket? Is there any shops? Are you working with your neighbours? I mean, I know supplies are very difficult at the moment, so how are you just getting by with the basic supplies?
We have food. We even share it with our neighbor. But when I met her, she said, "I didn't eat bread several days, and now bread for Ukraine it's like first meal." And because we frozen a lot of bread, no, maybe 5 or 6 loaves. So I shared it with her. She was so happy. So and it is great also this opportunity. People help for one another, and like it's unity. You can see unity.
We have, excuse me, we have 2 little shops that probably are not restocked. So to get to the closest supermarket, we would be about a mile, and we can walk that easily. But to get there and back safely is real challenge.
What do you want people who don't live in Ukraine to know? What do you want people, the international community who is watching this now, what is the most important thing, Mark, that you would like people to know right now about the situation that you find yourselves in Ukraine?
I've heard people in America, or the news in America, talking about the cost of gas for their cars, and how as we sanction Russia with their gas, that it's hurting the gas pump. Well, I believe, or my message is, anything that hurts you a little bit is your part in the war in Ukraine. So you are participating with overcoming Putin by not using his gas and by paying higher gas prices. So anything that you do, however small or however painful it seems, it is helping us here tremendously.
Thank you, Mark. As you were giving that answer, I could hear thuds in the background. What was that?
It's just, I don't know if it's shelling or if it's fire from our people or what. It happens on and off all day.
I want to ask, how are you guys sleeping knowing that outside there is fighting, there is a war?
We sleep not so much because it's like little bit stress and you don't want to eat, but you eating because you need it to have physical power, and you don't want sleep so much like regular. So like this.
Well,
We have the little phones with the earpiece, and so we listen to either preachers or teachings as we fall asleep, and that really helps us to get the reality out of our minds.
well, listen, it is really nice to speak with you. I'm lost for words, and I wish you the very best, and let's keep in touch. And there are many people all around the world that are thinking of you. I know that's probably cold comfort, but this is dominating the news, and you are in our thoughts and our prayers. Mark Zitha Kola, thank you very much for your time, and please stay safe.
Chris, thank you for reaching out to us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.